Hello, listeners. Thanks for tuning in to our Routes Through Pokemon podcast. We're still a fairly new podcast and going through some growing pains and learning the difficulties of equipment issues and locations for recording and everything. So thank you for bearing with us through our first handful of episodes, and I hope that you can struggle through with us in the next couple as we ran into some audio issues. I think we've got most of those things fixed, and we've finally come to a better place of recording. So in the next 3 or 4 episodes, I believe, maybe 5, I don't remember, hopefully things will be a little bit more consistent in quality, and we will still be continuing to try to progress, get better equipment and such, but we're working with what we got for now. And we hope that you are able to enjoy the show still as we continue forward. Thanks again. Now here's the episode. Welcome to Adventures in Pokemon. I'm your host, Shay Alon.
And I'm Ruby.
And here we're going to talk about the anime, which I've been deciding to keep up on. I know you haven't, but that's fine. And the manga, Pokemon Adventures.
I have something to relate from the cartoons to
Yes,
your
I know.
Yellow
And
game.
we'll get there. Anyway, so, starting off, we have Ash, who gets Pikachu.
Yep.
That is, in the games, we have to choose Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander.
Yep.
However, then Pokemon Yellow came out to go along with the cartoon, and it's Pikachu, right? And Eevee for Gary. Whereas in the cartoon, I think Gary gets one of the 3 starters. I want to say Charmander. I don't think it's really been totally revealed, but I think that's what he has. Anyway. Okay, so in the manga, Pokemon Adventures, his name is Red, right? And his rival is Blue, but he looks like Gary in the cartoon, right? Whereas Red looks like, we've seen Red look a lot, so kind of like Ash, but not quite. Yeah. So Red, he already has a Poliwhirl, which is an evolved of Poliwag, right? He starts off with his Poliwhirl.
Yeah.
And then some kids that are younger than him are trying to catch like a Nidoran or something. Mm-hmm. And then he does, but even after he does, I don't see him with the Nidoran anytime later, which is kind of weird. So he already has a Pokemon when this old, but he hasn't really gone on his adventure yet. And he seems to be still from Pallet Town.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he does end up getting one of the 3 starters, right? Because he ends up at Professor Oak's. Why does he go to Professor Oak's? Do you remember?
Because he
Professor
wants
Oak's
to be the greatest Pokemon trainer of all time, and Professor Oaks is the best professor.
Oh, but he goes at night, so it looks like he's stealing.
Yeah,
because
like,
he just goes in when it's late at night.
Anybody there? And then he kind of walks in, and he's like, thief!
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
And so then a big old mess happens where a bunch of Pokemon get released, so they all have to go catch them. On their way to, they go up to like Viridian to do it, right? And then while they're there, is it in the abandoned gym? So they go to the abandoned gym that we can't get into in Viridian City because it's locked up or whatever. And they catch the Bulbasaur at the end, and he does so by like talking to him or something, right? Or just he befriends, yeah. So then Professor Oaks is like, "Here, you get Bulbasaur." So he ends up with Bulbasaur, and then so he has Bulbasaur and he has Poliwhirl and Bulbasaur. So he has a Grass and Water type. And then in the cartoon, Ash just has Pikachu, and he tries to catch something like a Pidgey or something, right? But sucks at it. Is that before he meets Misty?
Yes.
Okay, that's like one of the first things he does, right?
Yeah, he goes and like he wrestles him with his jacket because Pikachu's like,
yeah,
and just sitting up there in the tree.
Which is annoying because Pikachu could have taken out the Pidgey super easy.
Pikachu isn't hurt yet, and when Pikachu's hurt, then we get Misty.
Yes. How did Pikachu get hurt? Did he end up upsetting some Spearow? Is that what happened?
No, Ash threw a rock at Spearow, and it hit, and then Ash.
Because he thought it was a Pidgey, right? Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant Ash. Sorry.
Okay, and then Spearow started chasing around Pikachu. Pikachu got hurt.
So then they run and they fall into the water and go over a waterfall, and then they see Misty, and then they steal her bike. Well, borrow her bike.
I don't think she wants her bike back. FYI.
Oh, she wants a new one. But, so then they bike away, but then he crashes the bike off of a little jump area. And, which, that jump area kind of reminds me of the ways on the way back. Like when we want to go back to Pallet Town, there's those little cliffs. It's kind of what that's like, isn't it? I just thought of that now. Huh. Anyway, and whole, what's the word? It's not swarm. Flock. A whole flock of Spearow show up and are going to get them, but then Pikachu zaps them all. But now he's totally exhausted. And so then, and that's like the end of the first episode. But the second episode, then they continue their way to Viridian.
Oh, FYI, the bike got zapped and is
Oh
now,
yeah, it's
like,
a charred piece of nothing.
Yes.
And so then they get to Viridian City, where they meet Officer Jenny, who thinks that they're Pokemon, or he's a Pokemon thief because he's carrying the Pokemon outside of a ball. But they get that cleared up, and so she gives them a ride back further into town, because they're not really in town yet, to get to the Pokemon Center, where they meet Joy, heal Pokemon. Misty shows up with her bike, and she's all mad. Before that, I think there's a phone call with the professor, or maybe that's the next episode.
She doesn't return with her bike. She returns with Char.
Yeah, the charred bike, demanding a new one. But that's the second episode is where we first meet Team Rocket.
She has the right to get a new bike from them, I feel like.
Yeah, but we have Team Rocket that shows up for the first time, and their original goal is not Pikachu. Their original goal is just to catch all the Pokemon, or to steal all the Pokemon in the Pokemon Center, because there's a bunch of Pokemon there.
And Ash is like, no!
But when Pikachu does a lot of good, they've realized that he's not just a normal Pikachu, he's a pretty impressive Pikachu.
Yeah.
And so then they want him, and so that becomes their ultimate goal, is to get that Pikachu.
Forever.
And then, somewhere after that fight, they do end up with a phone call. I don't remember if it's in that episode or the next episode, but he does end up having a video phone conversation with Professor Oak while he's at the Pokemon Center.
Yeah.
And he mentions the mystical bird he saw flying over him when he was laying down.
Yeah, it starts raining, and then there's a rainbow,
and then some legendary Pokemon.
Moltres?
We don't really know. But it's...
I'm pretty sure it was Moltres.
But there's, like, some birds on an emblem or something in the Pokemon Center. He's like, I saw one of those. And Oak is like, psh, that's impossible.
He saw a Moltres.
Yeah, something.
It was a Moltres. I'm pretty sure it was a Moltres.
Okay. Anyway, so then they continue from Viridian City, and Misty's going with because she really wants her bike, so that's why she's sticking back till she gets her bike back.
At that point.
Yes. And they get to Viridian Forest, where she freaks out over all the bugs. But Ash does catch his first Pokemon.
I suppose.
Caterpie.
And then he does this whole thing and holds up his two fingers.
The victory symbol.
In a V shape.
Oh, yes. Holding it closer, the V shape closer to the microphone helps them see that. Yep.
Uh-huh. Can you guys see it now?
And in the manga, do we get a stint in the Viridian Forest? I think we do. In the comic book, the manga, does Red go through the Viridian Forest? He must.
Yeah, he does.
Does he fight any trainers in there, like the bug catchers at all? Can't remember.
Oh, okay. I remember, Team Rocket's talking outside of there in the comic book, and, like, they want to go catch Mewtwo, and then Red...
No, not Mewtwo.
Mew.
Oh, I forgot about that whole thing.
And then Red goes in there.
Because he hears about the grandson earlier. Yeah, okay. Keep going.
And then Red goes in there, runs into Blue, and Team Rocket doesn't get the Mew because they scared him away or something. But after Team Rocket's gone, Blue tries to has a pouch like a kangaroo.
Kangaskhan.
And she's acting really hurt and stuff, or like not fighting back with Blue. And Red's like, stop it. He's like, no, it's mine. And then Red gets in the way and gives Kangaskhan like a poison shot or something to get rid of the poison, because she has a baby in her pouch and the baby hurt or poisoned or something and protecting her belly the most. That's how Red knew that there was a baby.
Yeah, Red has a very good connection with Pokemon. We've learned from both that interaction with Kangaskhan and the Bulbasaur thing.
Yes.
Which is why Professor Oak trusts him. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the order of all this. But yeah, because he doesn't know it's his grandson yet either.
No.
Did this event happen before he goes to Professor Oak? I almost think it does. Is it after? So already has the Bulbasaur? I should have had that on me so I could have looked at it. But that's okay. So anyway, yeah. So those are things that happen to Red, and yeah, then he does first hear of Team Rocket there too.
Somewhere in that mix-up event. No wait, isn't it?
No, he
heard
heard
call or something when he has a call.
He already knows the grandson exists. When he meets Blue the first time, though, he doesn't know that that's Oak's grandson. Because he heard about the grandson from, like, the kids or something.
I think he knows it's the grandson when he's getting his Bulbasaur, then runs up and is there.
If it's when he gets the Bulbasaur, then that means the whole thing with Kangaskhan happened before that.
Oh!
Because he meets the grandson before he knows it's the grandson.
Oh, yeah, he met the grandson in, like, the very beginning.
Probably the Kangaskhan thing, then.
No, he met him before that. Like, he didn't know it was the grandson, but Blue and Red saw each other before Kangaskhan, like, in the beginning with the little kids.
No.
Yes!
No, Blue wasn't there.
Not in the very, very beginning, but, like, pretty close in the first 2 chapters or something.
Okay.
Trust me!
Okay.
No, trust
I'm trusting you. We're moving on. So anything else happened in the Viridian Forest for Red then?
Team Rocket yelled at him.
Yeah, you got in a little scuffle with Team Rocket. Alright, so yeah. Blue catches that Nidoran or whatever with the kids. They talk about Professor Oak and his grandson, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into some forested area, but I don't think it's the Viridian Forest.
Probably not.
And there's a Mew there. Well, before that, he runs into a Team Rocket person who's like, hey, but we don't really know who they are yet.
Yeah, he kind of just bumps into him and he's like, watch where you're going!
Yeah.
I hate you now.
Yeah. But then when he's out in the woods, they see Blue with a Charmander trying to catch a Mew, it looks like. And the Mew kind of escapes or something.
Well, doesn't Red get in the way and so he escapes and he's like...
Well, no, he's sitting there watching Blue, not knowing who he is, trying to fight this Mew with a Charmander, and he's just kind of cheering him on silently, like, you can do it. But then Charmander doesn't have a chance, so then Red gets in there with his Poliwhirl, who also does not have a chance.
And then Blue fights the Poliwhirl, and Poliwhirl
Mew does, yeah.
and Red are like best friends.
Yes.
No, Blue Poliwhirl. He's like, sorry, thought it was a wild one.
Oh, it was Mew.
No, at one point, Blue hurts the Poliwhirl and said, sorry, that was a wild one.
Not there. Not during that.
But at some point.
Maybe. Alright, so anyway. So
Maybe means for sure.
Mew takes out Poliwhirl. And then, because it makes a weird noise when it charges off, it catches the attention of the Team Rocket people that are out there looking for Mew.
But
it sounds
it's
like.
a mist creature. We don't know who.
Yeah, but we can assume that it's probably that. So anyway, then Red finally losing for once. He's not used to losing because he hasn't lost before. Decides he needs to visit Professor Oak. And so he visits in the middle of the night. Then there's the whole supposed theft thing. And then they go into the Viridian City gym that's closed with cobwebs and a statue of some kind of mean-looking dude.
You mean the trainer?
And then, yeah, there's Bulbasaur. And, I forgot about Machoke.
Yeah, I forgot about Machoke.
But Bulbasaur helps with the Machoke situation. Another interesting thing about the Pokemon in this game, in this book, is that the Pokeballs have a clear top.
Yep.
So you can see them. But then he gets a Pokedex from Professor Oak, and then goes back on his journey. Because Blue does not show up there. And then he goes into Viridian Forest, where he runs into Blue with... So yeah, Blue takes out the Venomoth. And this is where... that's where Blue takes out the Poliwhirl, thinking it's a wild Pokemon.
I knew at some point.
Yep.
You said sure.
I did say sure. And then there's...
Yeah, that's because...
While they're arguing and stuff, and he realizes it's the same guy that fought the Mew... And then the Kangaskhan shows up, and there's that whole ordeal. And then we get to Pewter City. But before Pewter City, the anime has to catch up. So in the anime, they're in Viridian Forest for a while, right? There's the episode of getting Caterpie, and is that when he gets Pidgeotto, or is that later? Anyway, he gets a Caterpie, but then he also eventually gets... I think it's the end of an episode that he gets Caterpie. And then the next episode, he gets Pidgeotto, which evolves... Caterpie evolves because of the Team Rocket battle. Because remember, they get into a battle with Team Rocket, and Caterpie is the one who wins that fight.
Because he evolved?
No, he does win the fight, and then he evolves into Metapod.
Does he evolve like the second after he wins?
Pretty close.
Because in the episode Bye Bye Butterfree...
That's much later.
Same, because that's what I've watched most recently. Not that episode. It gives us a flashback. Yes, flashback. And there's soccer nets kind of around it. And he's fighting, I thought it was a trainer, but maybe it's a Team Rocket guy. And, he wins the battle because Caterpie evolved.
No, he doesn't win a battle because he evolves. It's his winning of a battle that turns him into Metapod. And he almost dies, and they think he does.
Metapod.
Yes, that's different. But anyway, whatever exactly happened, I forget. Because they do fight Team Rocket, and Caterpie's the one who actually wins this fight. In the end.
I believe you, it's just really funny.
It is awesome. Because I think there was some other fighting that happened with other ones, but, Caterpie is the one who could take it. And then he does eventually, look pretty beat up, I think, and then he spits out stuff, and then he turns into a cocoon thing, a Metapod, right? And then in the next episode, we meet a very interesting bug catcher. Because what's the Pokemon's trainers that we find in Viridian Forest? Bug catchers.
Yes.
So we do meet a bug catcher for Ash, but this bug catcher is a samurai. Remember, he dresses as a samurai, and he causes a lot of problems because Ash almost caught a Weedle, but this guy found him and interrupted it, and the Weedle got away. So annoying. I actually found the samurai guy very, very annoying for the most part. But their battle is really funny because it takes on a very samurai-like thing. Because in samurai stories, usually you have two samurai just facing each other for a long time, and then eventually, just like a gunfight,
They're just.
and then eventually they move, and one of them cuts. They both try to cut the other one, and one falls down dead eventually, just after one blow. Well, in this, they had Pinsir out, and then the Metapod comes out. Metapod hardens so that Pinsir breaks its like little spine things to try to crush it. And so then the samurai guy throws out his own Metapod, and then they just keep hardening over and over again, staring each other down, and time passes.
Harden.
And it's really funny. But then it gets interrupted because of Beedrill. Lots of Beedrill.
A swarm?
Yeah, a swarm of Beedrill, and Metapod gets Ash's Metapod gets stolen by the Beedrill, and then is put on the tree next to all the Kakuna, which are Beedrill, soon to be Beedrill. And so then they get chased around, and Team Rocket eventually gets taken out by the Beedrill when they go back. And Ash finds out that like the samurai guy also had fought and battled the three other trainers from Pallet Town, the ones that must have Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and of course Gary, who has Charmander, we believe.
Yes. Has he fought in Gary yet?
No.
She has.
Oh yeah, we fought the rival many times in the game. But no, he just keeps finding out that Gary's always ahead of him. Always has caught more Pokemon, is always way ahead.
Way ahead?
Well, seems way ahead.
I don't think he's always that
Anyway.
much ahead. Like, maybe this is...
And then we get to Pewter City, where they meet Brock's father in the cartoon.
Brock had a father?
Yeah, that's that whole story about the guy that's sitting there selling rocks. And he's all like, yeah, Brock, the gym, he has to take care of all these kids by himself because his no good dad left him, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he was the no good dad,
Yeah.
letting Brock travel with Ash. Huh? Yeah, all those kids. And then Brock and Ash fight once, but Ash doesn't take Misty's advice to borrow some of her Pokemon, which we later find out are water Pokemon, which would have helped. And so instead, he's using Pikachu against rock ground types, like Onix, Geodude, and Onix.
Yep.
And so Brock kicks his butt. So then they really train Pikachu to do better. And then because of some flukes and some sprinklers going off because of fire and lightning causing the fire and all that, Pikachu is able to win. In the manga, what happens once we get to Pewter City?
Pikachu is a wanted Pokemon because super annoying Pokemon, and angry mom's going after him.
Why is he annoying? What has he done?
I don't remember.
He's stealing all their food all the time. He's a little rodent.
And
one even tries to catch him with a net and then gets electrified.
Yep. But eventually, Red catches Pikachu, and Pikachu in his ball is so hilarious because you can see him from the front, and he's just like...
He's so annoyed.
Like one of the people who crosses their arms and just gives you the mad face or the grumpy face.
Yep. And then he tries to train Pikachu and actually has a little confrontation with his rival of Blue. And talking about getting the gym badge and all that stuff. And
he was going to go to the Pokemon Center
to
heal his two beat up Pokemon that would
the water Pokemon and the grass Pokemon that would totally obliterate Brock's gym. And said he has to use Pikachu.
And Pikachu's still just like,
But before he uses Pikachu, actually, when he goes to the gym, he watches Blue take on the trainers. Because he would take on other trainers before Brock, just like in the game, right?
I think so, yeah.
And so...
that whole incident was quite confusing to me in the
yeah, but, like, there's Cubone was ground and stuff, and all that. So basically, Red just is like, hey, I'll use these Pokemon as best I can, and then take them out. You know, like, just take them out with one shot, real quick. Yeah. And he did, till he got to Brock. And then they were talking out, so they used Pikachu, which really surprised Brock. It's like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. But he did win.
He did! I thought he lost.
No, see, he's got the badge. Hooray! Because Pikachu totally, like, exploded Onix with a super powerful electric attack. Mm-hmm. And then, after that, so then in the anime, now Misty and Brock are following. And in the comic, Brock just stays. So then it's during this travel we have a lot of interesting things. So after Brock's gym, and Brock is with him, so we have those. We see Ash actually battling some trainers on the road, like we do in the game. Like just quick little cutscenes of like him defeating a child trainer, like a youngster.
Oh, yeah.
And then he meets AJ, who has an unofficial gym, so he doesn't really get a badge or anything there. He doesn't win either.
He's had 99 wins undefeated.
Well, he had 98, and then this 99 was against Ash.
Oh.
And Ash had a Pokemon that should have been advantageous to the Sandshrew, but still lost.
Uh-huh.
And then that whole journey, and then so AJ's gets his 100th win, and then he goes on his journey with Sandshrew to go become a good trainer and stuff. And that put Ash into his place a little bit because he was getting cocky about his...
Uh-huh. 10 wins in a row.
Well, is that after he has 2 gym badges? We must have skipped ahead. Okay, so after the Rock Gym, then they're traveling and they go to Cerulean City, which Misty's like, how about let's not? And we find out because her beautiful sisters don't... she had told them that she's going to be an awesome trainer, and so when she gets back, she'll be like awesome or whatever, and she's not there yet because she just left not that long ago. And it's also funny to me that, of course, Misty has a bike. Because where do you get a bike in the game?
Cerulean City?
Cerulean City. So, of course, she's in the city, the rich city, where they already have these bikes and stuff. So, of course, she was able to have one already. But it's been destroyed. Good luck paying for that, Ash. But, yeah, it leads into a fight or like a gym battle. But Misty's going to be the gym leader there for that battle. Because the sisters don't want to. They only have their seal with them. The rest of them are at the Pokemon Center or something.
They also have their Goldeen.
Oh, was it Goldeen? Maybe it was Goldeen. They only had like one Pokemon or something.
They had 2.
Oh, did they? I thought it was one.
Seal, who doesn't fight, but he has the badge. Remember the seal popped out of the water and holds the badge in his mouth or something?
Oh, does it? I don't remember.
She's like, all we have left to fight with.
Yeah.
Is Goldeen.
Okay. I don't remember. But anyway, so Misty and Ash fight, and of course, once again, Ash would be top of his game with Pikachu, but Pikachu doesn't want to do it because he likes Misty. Forcing Ash to use Butterfree. Oh yeah, Butterfree evolved after the whole Beedrill situation. It blocked a Beedrill attack and got cut from the Beedrill.
Oh yeah.
And then it
like,
evolved.
Are you dead? And he's like.
And then he was Butterfree. That's what that. So he did kind of his winning a battle became Butterfree. But so yeah, he uses Butterfree, and I think he used somebody else too, but I don't remember. Fighting Staryu and Starmie, or was it just Starmie? I think it was both, or was it just Staryu?
Both.
Was it both? Okay,
Both.
just like in the game. And then of course Team Rocket gets in the middle of things, and so then he gets the badge anyway, even though he didn't win the fight, but he easily could have, and all this stuff. And so yeah, then he's cocky and fighting the trainers and gets like 10 wins, and then he meets AJ. And then they get lost for a while because they're supposed to go to Vermilion City, and it takes them many.
Go back to the book with how they go.
Oh yes. So how does Red first come across Misty?
Oh, she's fighting wild
Gyarados. Yep.
But not wild.
Yep.
I had to start.
Yep. And so then after that victory or whatever, she's trying. But what was wrong with the Gyarados? Something was wrong with him. It was Misty's Gyarados.
It was the sweetest thing just a week ago or so, and then was kidnapped. Pokemon napped
By Team Rocket, and they did something to him.
They poisoned him.
Yeah. So they did something. So obviously Team Rocket's up to some nefarious stuff.
In Mount Moon.
That's not the only place. They're just up to some nefarious stuff in general. They're doing experiments on Pokemon. So anyway, Red helps out with Misty there, and then they go to Cerulean City together, or did he go together? Or did they go through? They had to go through Mount Moon together, didn't they?
Yes. Well,
that's
she
right.
wanted to.
That's right. So she joins to go into Mount Moon, and Mount Moon.
Wasn't that?
No, but they run into Team Rocket, who tries to kill them with the rocks crashing, or like they try to. No, they cause the Red caused the rocks to come down.
Anyway, Misty gets knocked out, and
Mhm.
then after Misty wakes up, he's talking about, oh yes, I did so great defeating Team Rocket, and I was amazing.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he's definitely a little bit cocky sometimes, just like you. That's why losing made him finally go to Professor Oak, realizing he's not.
Yeah, she just like
Yep.
stares.
So then they go to They get to Cerulean City, and yeah, they have some disagreements on things or whatever. But then they decide to train for a while together. So he doesn't, as far as I can tell, he didn't leave with a badge. He still only has the rock badge, boulder badge.
In the book?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't have the badge.
Yeah, they just trained together for a while. Him and Misty and him, they trained together for a while?
Oh, well, I want to talk about that part when they get to the house and stuff. But...
What house? Well, go ahead. Just take us through it.
Oh, okay. So...
You remember it better than I do.
Yes, Misty took him to her house/mansion with all these mini maids.
That's right. She's super
And they're all like,
wealthy.
"Oh, you're so muddy and whatnot." They take her in, and he's like, "Ooh," because he likes all the maids.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of cute girls to him.
Yep.
And then she dresses up all pretty and stuff when she comes down the step. She's like, "Sorry, it took me so," you know how they say that thing. And she is trying to convince Red to train with her. And Red's like,
too cocky.
Yeah, and he's like, I just want to go defeat the gym leader. And all the maids just kind of giggle.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
And then he's like, like, what? And then Missy's like, okay, I'll take you. And then they walk and walk to the very edge of town. And then they go into a gym. And they're like, and then he's like, what stupid gym leader isn't here? And she's like, I'm right here. And they fight, and I think they flood the play. I'm not positive, but they do a little. There's definitely a bunch of water, fighting. I don't remember if he gets badge or not, though.
All right, so we're running short on time. We have a lot catching up to do on the reading and show because we hadn't done it in the past. But we should probably wrap up the show for today. We'll come back when we have maybe tackle the next gym. Maybe we'll stop with something else. We'll see, depending on how long things take there. But thanks for listening. Say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bip, bip.
Routes Through Pokemon is a Hunterfield production podcast. If you ever want to reach us, you can email us at hunterfieldmanor@gmail.com and just put Routes Through Pokemon in the subject heading. That's HUNTERFIELDMANOR@gmail.com. And our podcast is on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, so you can follow us, like us, rate us, leave comments in any of those locations where that's available. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to hearing from you.